Hi, I'm Stephen Hand. This is the Bowtech Virtue, new for 2025, although they had the honour in 2024. This is the bow with all the technology. If you're into technology, this bow's got it all, okay? There's no one even close to the amount of technology in this bow, okay? The closest would be Elite, which is what I obviously, the t-shirt I had on. It's not to say I'm sponsored by Elite. I don't get any money from any companies. I don't get any bows from any companies, so except for Fivix gave me a bow once, right? Okay, so what's unique about the Virtue versus any other bow? Bowtech have a cam system that moves left to right, okay, through tuning. That is the best in the industry. You don't even have to question this. This is the best. The other companies who have a tuning system are Elite, where you move the limbs like that. So you rock this cam backwards and forwards. PSE, you need a bow press and you use shims and you move it backwards and forwards, which is not bad, but not as good as this because you don't need a bow press. And now Matthews have got a moving limb. Whoever thinks that's a good idea, put your hands up. Right, so these limbs, they have little caps to hold the cams in place. Right, Bowtech went to that basically so when people dry fire their bows, they don't rip apart the limbs. So these bolt onto the limbs. Matthews have something similar, okay? The limbs on the Virtue and on many Bowtechs, this goes back to the old Guardian, so I'm going to go back 10, 15 years. So the limb's thinner here, then it gets thicker, and then thinner here. The idea of this is it bends evenly through the entire limb. Other limbs just bend in the middle, so you get fatigue in the middle. This is meant to fatigue over the entire limb, so you get less limb fatigue, you get less warranty, less of those little splinters that you see on limbs. That's the idea of this design. The cams, this is a binary cam system, so same cam top and bottom. This little thing here, it goes like that, backwards and forwards. This is if you dry fire your bow or you derail your bow, you're less likely to rip this off. So that's the idea of going backwards and forwards. It's a rotating cam system, modules. So basically one module is all you need for all your draw lengths. You just move it, 1/2 inch adjustments here. It's got performance or soft through just flipping the module. That's unique in the industry, right? So the other companies like Elite, PSE, you have to buy a performance module or a soft module, right? So if you're Matthews, you have to buy a module for absolutely every draw length change, every poundage change, every let off change. You have to buy a module. With Bowtech, it's in the one thing. So you've got to move this. That's the stop, string stop, and you've got to move the thing. Very easy. There's 3 bolts here to lock it in place. Yeah, look, it's a good module system. It's got 2 tracks on either side, so it tracks in the middle. I like that. Flexi cable guard, so it flexes in to reduce torquing. Some people won't like this because this cable may get in the way of your sight. That's a common concern, but it's getting rid of the leaning issues on your cam. So normally if you have your cables pushed out, it'll create lean and it creates tracking problems on your cams, so that's why they do that. You've got limb locking there, so limbs lock in place, really good. Of all the bow manufacturers, only a few have limb locking. Dart and Elite have limb locking. Limb locking should be standard. This has titanium fittings, so no steel, so you're not going to rust. It's meant to be stronger, but titanium. The riser is unique. This is a magnesium riser, so it's very light, 3.6 pounds. Your other risers are going to be heavy. So this is good for hunting. And the other thing which is unique on a Bowtech, and I'm probably left out some of it, is the adjustable grip. So you can change the angle of the grip. Hoyt has that on their target bows, but not their hunting bows. So I think this is unique on the hunting bows made. Elite doesn't have one. PSE doesn't have one. So I don't think anyone's got one except for Bowtech. So as far as technology, Bowtech has it all. Okay, I assume, no, they don't have a Piccadilly thing on the front, but they've got one on the back. Bow quiver goes in there. Look, these are little harmonic dampeners to absorb shock. The strings are good on Bowtech, so if you're buying a Bowtech and your shop goes buy some custom strings because they want to make some more money out of you, you don't need to, just shoot these, they're good. To replace strings on a Bowtech like this, 10 minutes. Matthews, an hour. I'm not having to go at Matthews. I'm just saying, if you go to a shop and you've got a Matthews, right, that's the way I look when a person comes into the Matthews. I'm like, I can't work on it because I don't have a bow press to work on it. This is easy. It's an easy bow to work on. Right, so what do I expect this to be like? It's a 6-inch brace height, so it's going to be a little bit twitchy, I'm going to guess, like that. To aim, so I'm expecting bigger groups than the 7-inch brace height bows. It's set on performance, so this is going to be more aggressive to draw back, so it's going to hurt a little bit for me to draw it back. It's lighter, so I'm going to feel more vibration. So lighter bow is good for hunting because you're carrying around the bush, but you're going to feel more vibration because it's lighter. Okay. Oh, I really like the way the limb pocket goes inside the riser. That's arguably the best. So if you're looking for a bow, you've got to say, what do I want a bow for? Do I want a bow for walking, for hunting, walking around the bush? Do I want a light bow? This is a light bow. Light bows are the PSE Mac 33, Mac 30. It's around the same way as this, but this is metal, the other one's carbon. Right, so let's try the draw cycle. This should be aggressive. I shoot a 51-pound target recurve. I shoot a 60-pound target compound. I should draw this back easily. I don't expect I will. And that's not me just because it's 341 feet per second, 32 inches axle, 6-inch brace height. So it means I'm drawing back 1 inch more power on this bow than a normal bow, because the normal bow will be 7. And it's 340, so this should be quite aggressive. And then it's getting the valley there. The valley doesn't dump, it just is nice and smooth in. I'm going to make this shot. Right, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, better than I thought. I was expecting, at 341 feet per second, I was expecting a bit of vibration. It's pretty good. I'm going to say the draw is not as smooth as some. The PSE is going to be better. The Elite is better in my view, but you could switch to soft performance and then it'll probably be okay. The grip I'm comfortable with. It just feels like a normal grip. Like I said, you can change the angle. This one's on this one fletch, but that'll be fine. Let's do it again. Let's just, like, the balance of the bow is perfect. So the valley just it gets hard at the start and then just slowly drops down. A lot of bows dump into the valley. This is no problem just holding it in. I'm going to guess it's a 90% let off, but it feels like 70. It's comfortable, very comfortable. So there's the peak, and see now I'm in the valley there, and I can hold it all the way through. The bow feels very stable. Yeah, it feels really, really stable. So now I've moved the sight as far down as it can go. Now there's not multiple sight holes here from memory. There's only the 2. But this sight has got multiple positions on it. So I'm going to go back to 18 now and we'll see how it shoots. Oh, one thing I really like with this, see the titanium bolt? I don't know if you can see it. It's fully exposed, so you can see when you wind this bow out how much more you can wind it. Huge fan of that, because when you're winding back bows, you never know if they're going to pop off on you. Like, you know, you're going to pull it out too far, wind it back too far. Huge fan. Huge fan of this. It's all metal. One thing about me with a metal rope bow versus carbon bow, metal feels more indestructible. It feels more robust. With some of the carbon bows, if you put the screws in too far, then you break the carbon because they use metal bushings in the carbon, they just pull straight out. This, it's all metal. It's good. So let's take it back to 18 and let's see how well I shoot. Yeah, I'm at 18 meters. I've had one hit the gold, so we're ready to shoot. See if the others hit the gold. This is the fastest. When I say fastest bow I've tested, it's not the fastest bow I've tested. These arrows went straight through my target bow. So I moved my target to a spot I haven't shot and they went straight through again. So now I've set up the bulldog target because the arrows wouldn't hold. It's the first time I've shot a bow where the arrows are not held in the target bar. And I've got piece of foam, and compressed plastic in the middle. It's a thick target. Bulldog target, no issues. So let's see how this shoots. Feels alright, feels good. I think I won't shoot it as well as other bows. That's not me being negative. It's fast. It's easy to draw. Shorter brace height, I generally shoot better with longer brace height. So let's see how we go. I'm shooting Victory VAP arrows. I've got a CBE Tech sight on because it's easier and quicker for me. I've got no peep sight, just a D-loop. The sight pin is stable. I'm not getting the left to right variation I was expecting with the shorter brace height. That's common with the shorter bows. With the bows with a shorter brace height, I normally get a twitching. I'm not seeing any of that. The sight pin is completely stable. So if the arrows aren't touching each other, it's either me or, well, it's me, but it's me, or just bad shots, you know. In the recent Outdoor Life, they picked this bow as the second best bow of 2025 after the Mach 33. So they picked two light bows, first and second, because it's obviously obviously talking about hunting bows, although the third bow is the Exalt 35, which we have back there, that my son shoots, which I really like. That's one of my favorite bows. And I think that's fair. The Mach 33 is one of my better selling bows. I really like this Virtue. Would I own one? Yes, I would. I can say that without even thinking. Bowtech are always one of the coolest bows made. And I don't care which generation of Bowtech you're talking about, whether you're talking about them from 15, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, always cool. And the old ones are always cool because they've got technology that was always leading for their time. This bow has got everything in it. Doesn't mean you'll shoot better. It just means it's cooler as. I have people come in my shop with a Hoyt. I'm not having to go Hoyt. He goes, I can't tune my broadheads. The broadheads won't land in the same spot as my fill points. Now you've got a problem. Where this bow, seconds to fix it. Literally seconds. Like an Elite, seconds to fix it. Like I said, this is the best cam system. If Bowtech, and I think Bowtech should sell their patent to other bow manufacturers for so much per bow, and every company would have this. Bowtech don't, because they're like, well, we've got all the best technology, buy our gear. Look, it's all well and good, but look, Matthews fanboys are always going to be Matthews fanboys. Hoyt fanboys are always going to be Hoyt fanboys. And the rest of the industry, they don't care, right? They'll just buy whatever bow they think is best. But Hoyt shooters are always going to shoot Hoyt, and Matthews shooters are always going to shoot Matthews. And get paid, this has got a rotating module, which is probably the PSE patent. Bowtech's paying for it, obviously. Just sell your technology for so much a bow and use it for developing more stuff. That's my view. I don't. Bowtech obviously has a different view to me, but this is the best. When Athens had this technology, it's the best. Now, let's just get something controversial. Apparently the Chinese have got a technology coming out like this, but it's different, they tell me. And I know everyone who's going to say, well, the Chinese just copy everything. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Well, I've seen the prototypes. I haven't seen one in my hands. I've seen the video of it. And it looks like this. It's not... They didn't copy the moving limb. Good thing Chinese you didn't copy the moving limb. That was not a good... If you remember years ago, PSE had this system. It's like the Elite system is now, but it's different because the Elite system works and the PSE one didn't. But it was, the PSE system was meant to be what Elite has, right? But they didn't quite get it right. And I said at the time, it's like, this thing doesn't work. It's stupid. It was basically shifting the limbs left and right. It was stupid technology. But the Elite one works. The Elite one's fantastic. But this is fantastic. The Matthews won't exist in the future. You can write that down and quote me on it. It's going to be like the Matthews no cam. Like every bow is going to be a Matthews. No, it's not, because it's too slow. Lasted 1 year. I tell you what amazes me. Matthews 8 limbs. Obviously no one's copied that idea because obviously it wasn't the brightest idea in the market. Hence why Matthews don't sell to me. That's true. 8 limbs. Like why? There's no purpose. I'm putting rubber between them. Look, this is beautiful to shoot, love it. Look, it's probably a little bit noisier than a couple of other bows I've shot, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. Pretty good, I'd own one. If I had to choose on a bow right now for hunting, I would probably choose this. I do like the PSE Mac. I think this looks cooler. I think it's got more tech. The Elite bows, I love Elite. And it's not that I've got a heat. The Elite bows are too heavy. They need their bows to be a magnesium riser. They need, I'm not saying all their bows, but they need a bow with a magnesium riser like this to drop the weight, so that way you go, oh, cool, a bow with all this technology, because Elite has cool stuff, which is also light. Okay, the Exalt 35, which is a fantastic bow to shoot. I shoot amazing with it. It's just too heavy for hunting, in my view. Like if you're going to stand in a tree all day, well, yeah, but the Australians walk around the bush all day. So let's go and have a look at the group. Okay, so back there I can't see where the group is until I walk up here. The target behind me is foam, so it's a flat face. This is a bulldog target. It's filled with like rags. It's fibre or something. So you've got this like hole, and it's harder to see what the group's like. Like I can't get my finger around it, but it's a pretty good group. Like if I had the sights exact, they'd all be in the gold. There's really nothing outlying. The light is really low at the moment, so it's quite hard to see. It's about to hit night time, but there's no wind, and I was like, well, let's get this video done because I can knock it out. My summary, I would buy a Virtue. I think Bowtech produce amazing bows. It's just like you've got to go, well, what's causing me to buy a bow? Because the bow I have now is awesome, right? So you look at, like, if you've got, I don't know, a Elite, a PSE, or a Bowtech, you go, well, why do I buy the new one? Why am I going to... if I've got a good bow now, what's causing me to buy the new one? Well, what's causing me to buy this new one is the riser. It's light. Besides that, besides it being a light riser, it's basically like all the other Bowtechs before it. The Bowtech Solutions and the SR30, 350. Look, they were all really nice bows. I love them, but they were heavier, and then I'm like, well, is it that much better than the other bows? This bow, I go, well, it's 3.6 pounds. It's nice and light. It's got all the stuff. It's cool. It'll be a cool bow forever. In 10 years' time, this will be a cool bow because it's got everything. There's nothing else you can do. It's lightweight, it's got draw stops, it's got rotating modules, it's got the flexi cable guard, it's going to be easy, it's got the limbs that are cool because they go thin to thick, it's got the brace of limbs in the middle, so it's more working. It's got everything. It's got everything in a bow. It's easy to change the strings. The strings are good, so it's not like you buy a bow and then go, well, these strings are crap, I've got to buy new strings. Everything's good. It's a good bow. It's expensive. It's expensive, and then you've got to go, well, how expensive is it compared to the other bows? Well, it is a bit more expensive, okay? It's a bit more expensive than the Exalt 35, and then, so what you've got to say is, what do I want a bow for? If you want a bow for walking around the bush, and you want a lightweight bow because that maybe you're not as strong, this is awesome. I would buy it just because it's light, and basically I'd put a hunting sight on it and maybe fit a bow quiver and just run around the bush with it, right? Which is what I'm thinking, because I don't really have a bow to run around the bush with at the moment. I do have an Envision, I think, unless I sold it. But this is lighter, and the grip I'm more than comfortable with. Yeah. So sometimes when I'm not comfortable with a grip, I get the left and right movement, the up and down movement, and all that sort of stuff. This is great. It was just dead. The pin didn't move. Good. So Bowtech Virtue. How would I rate it? I wouldn't rate anything 10 out of 10 because the price is a little bit high. The finish is great. I would like it in camo. They don't make it in camo. They do it in black, green, brown and tan, I think are the 4 colours. It'd be good if they did camo, because this is a bow I would like in camo. But I mean, argue a point with me. The limbs are the best in the business because they do the thin to thick. I mean, no one does that. The cams are the best riser in the business. I can definitely argue that I like the Elite cams as far as adjusting the valley more, because with the Elite I can go from 0 let off to basically 100% let off, and I can change the length of the valley. I love that. I can't do that with this bow, so I do like that better on the Elite. But this is comfortable. It doesn't dump into the valley, which I don't like bows that dump into the valley. It's very comfortable. It's very fast. Like, it went straight through the target butt. So if you're gonna, it's one of the issues, because pulling your arrows out of a target butt is a problem. This is a bulldog target. They come from Canada. I don't know how they're doing with the American trade war. But the bulldog target's like easy to pull your arrows out, right? That's so good. This target would be, I don't know, maybe 5 years old. It's fantastic. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave you there. Look, the more you practice, the better off you're going to be. I'm going to say last night I shot with my recurve, I shot a 292, which was my personal best. And today I came out, I tried the same arrows, and I had a good 15, and I had a pretty crappy 15. And I still finished with a 279, and with when I say my old arrows, I made some new arrows, same spine. I shot 285, which is still one of my best scores. So practice, practice, practice. Work on how you're going to improve yourself. Worry less about the gear, more about yourself, about your form, your strength, and all that sort of stuff, because I cannot stress enough about how much training is so important for consistency. If you train 30 arrows a day, you'll be at a certain level. You do 60 arrows a day, you will be better. You do 100 arrows a day, you'll be even better. Guaranteed. It's just, there's no question. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching. Bye.